Hey, J-Bo Nation! Shaming of Jay! He's not a dopey dumb bitch. He gets laid. The court jester, the court DJ. It's time to dive into the case. To the case.
What's up, everybody? What's up? Thanks for being here. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Not that Nikki on kick. Good to see you. Catherine's here. Sonia, Ann, Teresa, Afy, Tony Bailey, KJ Todd, Steve-O, Serena, Whatcha Charlotte, Caroline C, Donnie. What's up, guys? Thanks for being here. Good morning, Shannon L. Oh boy, guys. I got the feed up, but they haven't started it yet, but I'm keeping it up. Hello. Oh crap. Where they started? Well, at least on one of the feeds. Let's see if they started on the Court TV one. Hold on. That's so funny. They don't have it on the Court TV one, but they do have it on this one. All right. Galen, welcome to Super Bowls. Thank you so much, Galen. Hello, B. Allen. Welcome. All right, let me get
eight, 9, 10 audio clips where she discusses it being an SD card. I can pay for all those accounts that would like to hear them.
No, is that all from Officer Emerson's audio?
To be honest, I don't know who took the audio. It came basically on label to me, but I assume so. And then there's one track from September 30th where she said, she put it in, it came up and it said homicide. It didn't. She said yesterday she's the one who titled it homicide. And then she said yesterday that she knew, and I'm going to clarify this on cross-examination. This came up a couple days ago too. I think she implied that she knew Kathleen Henry before this, and that she was here to testify because she wanted to send her home.
I see we got the robot audio back, so that's wonderful. Shannon L gifted a membership. Thank you so much, Shannon L. And Teresa Morrow gets it. Thank you so much, Shannon L.
On September 30th, 2019, she said, if you figure out who this is, please let me know. She clearly didn't know who it was after having allegedly watched the video.
And that's fine with me as long as you play the portion where she says she was beaten up so bad I couldn't recognize her. If she wasn't beaten up so bad, I probably could have. I think that completes that thought.
I don't have that. I don't have that cut. I'm happy.
Let me just see if Court TV has figured it out yet. Oh, this is a battle every day, folks. This is a battle every day. I guess I'll just keep it on here.
We could make that part of my questioning. I don't mind if counsel does it. I don't think I can trim a new audio for that right now.
I can get to that part when you get to the appropriate part.
Yeah, or it can be played on read.
She said she saw a screenshot of I think what she was saying was she saw a screenshot of a Wi-Fi sign-in. On September 30th, she made a couple statements that she recognized the hotel from the carpet. So I'll be playing that to impeach how she identified the hotel.
Are you going to play through the portion where she says she recognized the back area as well?
I will just play. Here, this is what I'm playing.
Okay, and the hotel, did you recognize which hotel it might be?
I think in Marriott.
Marriott, okay.
Because I've been to the Marriott before, and the carpet pattern of the carpet is similar
Play that one and then
Continuing on that, I
Would
think.
it help identify?
let me play the next one just in case.
Other than the hotel, you thought maybe it was the Marriott?
Yeah, just the hotel.
Okay.
This is what really stood out.
Okay.
Because like in one of the Marriott hotels, the carpets, they're like diamond.
Mm-hmm.
Diamond pattern. And it's like a blue, like a blue on a gray color.
Mm-hmm.
Is one of the patterns. I can't remember which one it is because it's been so long, and one of them, they've been redoing them so much lately, you know. But
So I intend to play that because at no point during that did she say she recognized it from a screenshot or a photo or anything regarding Wi-Fi.
Okay, that's fine.
So I believe those are the clips that. Oh, and then I have. I believe those are the ones that I will be playing for the jury, Judge.
Thank you.
As long as she, proper foundation is laid, right? Like she can admit, deny, or explain.
Yeah, she needs to be given an opportunity to explain, which it sounds like she will be.
Right. And Judge, just to be clear, I had this argument come up in a trial last year. The rule is she has to be available to explain, which can also happen on a redirect. I don't have an obligation to confront her and then open-ended questions say, why don't you tell us what was going on at that point?
No, you're right. She simply has to be available,
right,
and have the opportunity.
All right, thank you.
And if she admits that she said that, I guess it's fine. We'll go forward. Extrinsic evidence sometimes only comes in if she denies it.
I think, Judge, in this case, it's important for the jury to hear her saying it rather than her testimony. This becomes, I think, a question of form over substance, and I'm allowed to make my case the way I see fit, and it's going to be most persuasive to the jury. It is my intent, even if she admits that she said that, to play all the clips so the jury can hear how she said it, how many times she said it, in what way she said it, what her demeanor was when she said it, her tone of voice when she said it, and it's different ways for the jury to hear the same thing, so that if juries take in information differently, something strikes them differently, it may be more memorable to them.
I'm just looking at 613B.
So your argument is that it's sometimes the inconsistency can be the way something is said.
Well, the way something is said, and then obviously in Alaska, prior inconsistent statements can come in for their substantive content. And I think it's important that the jury hears it in her own words and hear exactly what she said, not just a summary of it or her version of it. So it is my intent to confront her with the audios.
Well, I'm not hearing any objection to any of the clips at this point, so.
Well, I just want to talk about the foundation, Judge, 613B. Before extrinsic evidence of a prior contradictory statement or of bias or interest may be admitted, the examiner shall lay a foundation for impeachment by affording the witness, while testifying, to explain or deny any statement or to admit, deny, or explain any bias or interest, except as provided in B1 of this rule. So I think he has to ask her the question and then play this.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like he's planning on doing.
If she admits it, you decide if he gets to play the statement.
I understand.
Judge, I disagree with that. That's how that rule operates. I guess we'll deal with it when we get there, though.
Yeah, let's get to an actual question at some point and answer. Okay, are there other matters to take up?
I don't believe so.
No, thank you.
Let's bring the jury in.
You will bring the jury.
Thanks for being here, everybody. I've gotten quite a few messages from folks who are from Alaska who, what the hell is this? Oh, Core TV, you silly bitches. When will they ever get it right? The answer is never. Hi, Heather.
Please be seated, everyone.
Joanne, KJ, CH, Larita.
Welcome back, folks. We have our jury
Lisa,
with us
Sober
now.
Hipster.
It's
Thanks for
about
being here,
2
everybody.
or 3 minutes before 9.
Christine
and everyone
on
else is here that needs to be
Kick.
here to resume the Brian Stephen Smith trial. I think we need Ms. Kassler, though.
Dizzy's here. AK Housewife. Oh, and we just got a new beau, folks. Jessica Ratzlaff. Thank you so much, Jessica. Welcome. Capri Sun's out. Hello, Galen. Hello, MJ. Thank you, everybody. What do the Alaskan residents that they've commented on my videos? They thanked me for covering it. They say it's a big case, and they hope that it brings awareness of, you know, missing and murdered Indigenous women, which the bot isn't working, but I'll share that link shortly when it's working. What other comments? One person was kind enough to email hello, Laura, the court people, the channel that's covering this, asking them what the deal was, why it kept going out, and they responded, it's the court, it's the court feed. There's nothing they can do. So
Just have a seat again. Yes. Good morning. Have a
hey,
seat.
Beachy, no banana bread emoji yet. All right, here we go, guys. By the way, Steve will be covering this on Publicly Buzzed tonight at 9. Hey, Joanne. KJ is probably right. The router in the courthouse is probably 10 years old. Hello, Tree. Thanks for being here.
Okay, good. Just before we broke yesterday, the state had finished their initial questioning of Ms. Kassler, and that means it's now the defense's turn to ask some questions. You may begin when you're ready.
Ms. Kassler, I want to start out by going through your testimony from yesterday just to reestablish what you said on the stand, make sure we're in agreement with what that was. If you disagree with anything I'm asserting, by all means, please tell me, okay?
I mean, from the very beginning?
So we're going to start out with your testimony was that you'd met Mr. Smith before, right?
Yeah.
And that was back sometime around September 2019.
Yes.
And on the night in question, he picked you up around the Cars on Gamble.
Yes, sir.
And that at the time you were in active addiction and you were smoking crack actively.
Mm-hmm.
And then yesterday you told the jury that he was asking if you knew any of the younger girls who you considered to be your nieces.
Yeah, I remember her name. Her name was Sonia. He asked me if I knew how to find Sonia.
And then you said you went all over with him, right? You drove all over with him?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you went to the baseball field behind the Sullivan Arena, over to Ship Creek, and then you ended up at the Shell Station?
We went to behind the Sullivan Arena too.
Right.
And we drove I think out towards the airport or somewhere too.
Okay, so now at what point did you drive out towards the airport?
Right before we went, that was like after, first it was McCauley, and then the Sullivan Arena, and then from there drove out like towards the airport, and then on the way back went to the trail station, and that's when he dropped me off. Asked me where I stayed. I said I stayed in the woods at Shiloh.
Okay, so now is your recollection that you did or didn't go to Ship Creek?
Yeah, we went driving down there too.
Okay. And at the time, not only were you actively smoking crack, you were also drinking vodka, and you had a 211 Blackberry, so you were drinking that night.
Yeah.
He told you he was leaving town, and he asked you if you had any money and where you lived.
Yes, sir.
Tried to get money in the Shell Station. He tried 2 different cards, and they didn't work.
Yes, sir.
And then while he was in the Shell station getting money, you dropped your phone in his truck.
Yes, sir.
And when you went to pick it up, you picked up 2 phones.
Yes, sir.
And you kept both phones.
Yes, sir.
Didn't turn either of them on to determine whose was whose, just kept both.
No, they were dead.
Okay. And then, so you knew that one of those was not your phone at the time, right?
Yeah.
And you took it anyway, just in case.
Yeah.
Real quick, one of the things that's super frustrating, if you go to like the Alaska News Source website, they have crystal clear footage of this person testifying, but we get this crappy feed, yet they got someone in there with a camera recording. Like, I don't understand.
And you said at that point when you bent over to get the phone, you got sick.
I got sick.
So I know that term can be used in a few different ways, and I just want
Like
to clarify.
bile came up.
Okay. And then when you were being examined by the state, you mentioned that when you picked up the phone, you had a feeling about it.
Yeah.
And then when Mr. Smith came back into the truck, he asked where the phone was. He said he needs it and it's important.
He said no. He said his work was on the phone. That's what he said.
And then you told him that it fell out of his pocket at the Sullivan Arena?
Yeah.
Had you ever gotten out of the truck in the Sullivan Arena?
Yeah.
Okay. And so did he ask you if you saw it fall out of my pocket, why didn't you tell me?
No, when you closed the truck door, is what I said.
Okay. But you didn't tell him about it at the time. You know, he didn't ask you, you didn't tell me about that at the time, right?
He asked me if I seen the phone, and I said, well, when I was leaving the Sullivan Arena, when you slammed your door, it sounded like something fell out.
Okay. And then this is where it got a little bit squirrely for me, at least. Got out of the Shell station. Oh, so did you get out of the truck and leave at the Shell station, or did he let you out at the Shiloh Baptist?
He dropped me off at the Shiloh Church.
Okay. Because initially when the state asked you about that yesterday, you pretty vehemently denied it.
What?
That he let you out of the Shiloh Baptist Church, but no, he did let you out of the Shiloh Baptist Church.
Yeah, when they asked me, I got my words mixed up. I said, no, he dropped me off at the Shell station, and then I said, no, he dropped me off at the Shiloh Church. And I waited till he left before I went across the street and went across the bridge and went through in the woods.
Okay. And you said the whole thing took about an hour and a half.
Huh?
You said the whole thing took about an hour and a half yesterday. Do you recall that?
At the court here?
Yesterday, when you were testifying on direct, you said that your entire encounter with Mr. Smith lasted about an hour and a half. Do you recall that?
No, I said he picked me up about 9:30 at night. And when he dropped me off, he said that he had to, it was probably about 4 o'clock in the morning, because he said he had to catch a plane in 2 hours.
Okay, so it took longer than an hour and a half. It took...
I said I was with him for half the night.
Okay, so that would be 2.5 plus 4, 6.5 hours. So now you're testifying that you were with him for 6.5 hours.
I said that I was with him for half the night, is what I said.
And then you went back to your tent from there.
Yes, sir.
You plugged in your feet, then you went and you plugged in the phone at the mattress store, looked through it, and you said you immediately sobered up.
Yeah.
And you said it had 46 pictures on it, and please clarify, it had one long video?
Yeah.
Video? Okay. So you looked at the phone, and the phone had 46 pictures and one video.
Yeah, 3 days worth of filming.
And you said, upon looking at it, that you recognized the woman on the video as someone you got out of jail with a couple days prior?
Yes.
And the first time you looked at it, you recognized her?
No, she was just beat up. You could saw purple, black, and blue.
Well,
Eyes all swollen, almost swollen shut.
Right, well, you just said...
No, I did.
You
No, I did not
recognized
say that. You said that.
And you agreed with it. Did you recognize her when you turned on the phone?
No, I did not. I said that yesterday.
You said yesterday that you recognized her when you turned on the phone.
No, I did not.
And then you showed the videos to your sister-in-law, Tracy Thompson, and she encouraged you to destroy them.
Yes.
but instead you went to Dr. Thornquist and called the police from there.
Yes, sir.
You left Dr. Thornquist's office with the phone, and then you stole an SD card the next day and put the videos onto the SD card.
Objection, this states her testimony.
I'm asking her to click confirm or deny it, Judge.
Objection's overruled, but it does need to be clear that you're asking her to, whether you're asking her to confirm or deny.
Okay.
I'm also going to object to a compounded question. He had her going 3-4 places.
So you left Dr. Thornquist's office with the phone, right?
Yes, sir.
And then you went to Fred Meyer and you stole an SD card.
Yes, sir.
And you put some.
That's all that was on that phone.
Mm-hmm. And then when you did that, was it that later that day or the next day that you'd gone to Fred Meyer's to get the SD card?
I think you're confusing yourself. No, I said when I went to my doctor's, it was the next day. It was the next day when I put the stuff on the SD card.
It was the next day.
When I went to doctor.
You went to your doctor's the next day, and on that day you put it.
You're trying to mix my shit up and you know.
Let's wait till the witness is done answering, and then or one after another, any objections or clarifications can be requested. Were you done answering that?
Yeah, I'm done answering.
Okay, and just so we make sure we have a clear record, I would like to go back through that one more time. So you get the phone, you have the phone in your possession the night that you're with Mr. Smith,
Yeah.
right? And then the next day you go to Dr. Thornquist's office?
Yes.
And from Dr. Thornquist's office, you call the police.
Yes.
And then you leave Dr. Thornquist's office
Yeah.
with the phone.
Yes.
From there, on that same day,
I went to Fred Meyer's. Yes.
Okay, and that's where you got the SD card.
Yes.
Put the videos onto the SD card.
I put everything. Yes, that's all that was on that phone was the 3 days from September 3rd. He picked her up till September 5th. It was 3 days worth of videos and like 36 pictures.
Okay. And now, did you transfer those all at once, one mass transfer?
Just one thing.
Mm-hmm. And you also viewed on the phone some evidence that it had been on the Wi-Fi at the Marriott.
Yes.
And was that a picture that you saw?
I think it was. I think it was a screenshot.
You think it was a screenshot of like a
Him logging on to Wi-Fi at the hotel.
Okay. So if you transferred everything from the phone onto the SD card, that should have transferred as well.
Yes, it was.
Right. Including the video.
Yes.
And then you titled the SD card.
I titled the Homicide at Marriott Hotel, Midtown, Anchorage, Alaska. Yes, I did.
All right. And then as you are at that point walking back to your tent, you tripped and you dropped both the new phone your boyfriend got you and this one?
No, it was later at night.
Okay.
It was dark. The leaves were coming down. There was broken branches, trees down. You should walk through the woods sometimes. Maybe you'll see what I mean.
Okay. So it's dark. You're walking through the woods. You have both your phone and
Yes.
phone, and you dropped both of them.
Yeah, I tripped.
And you picked up your phone.
No, I tripped. I lost both the phones.
Okay, so you never picked yours up either.
Can you see at nighttime when it's pitch black?
Just asking, after you tripped, did you recover either of the phones?
No, how many times do I gotta say it?
But you did not drop the SD card.
No, because the SD card wasn't in the phone.
And you remember back 4 years ago, you gave statements to the investigators, right?
I remember everything. Do you remember everything? I remember everything.
And they interviewed you a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
And you were, at that point, not fully honest with them about it.
No, I was not fully honest because I was scared.
So, for example, now, when you talked to the police, it was towards the end of September, right? It was still that same month, end of September, early October, right?
Yeah.
And when you were talking to them, it was, I think you just said it was like the day after you picked up the SD card. Or the day you picked up the SD card, the day after you got on the phone.
What now?
How long after you picked up this phone did you talk to the police?
It was the next day, a couple days.
And when you talked to the police, the initial conversations, you told them that you'd been clean off of crack for 6 months. Do you recall that?
Yeah, but I wasn't smoking crack. There's other stuff you could smoke, you know that?
Well, you just said earlier today that you were actively smoking crack.
Yes, I was.
And you had not been clean for 6 months.
Crack, yeah.
When we started the testimony today, do you recall yourself saying you were actively using crack at the time that this occurred?
Oh my gosh, yes.
And when you talked to the police 4 years ago, you told them you'd been clean for 6 months.
Off of crack.
Right. And you told that to them twice.
Yeah.
And today you told the jury that you were actively using it at the time this was happening.
Yes.
And in fact, when you talked to them a few days ago when they served the subpoena, you told them that you'd been high for about 2 weeks
When?
prior to this.
Clarify.
Yeah.
When you talked to the police,
Sustained.
remember they served you the subpoena? It was last Friday?
I didn't see anything about being high.
You did not say anything about being high when they served you the subpoena.
No, I haven't even been drinking. The only thing I've been high on is cigarettes and weed.
Now, but when you talked to them on Friday,
I didn't see nothing about me being high.
you told them 4 years ago
4 years ago.
that when this was happening, you had been high for 2 weeks.
Yes.
Right.
Ma'am, wait till he finishes the question and it'll be a lot
Jesus
easier.
Christ,
to
I
answer.
don't know, he's just getting on my nerves.
He's got to finish his question first.
Then you also talked to the officers 4 years ago. I'm going to take you back 4 years now. At the end of September 2019 and then early October 2019. You remember you did those multiple interviews with them.
Yeah.
And in the October 2nd one, they asked you where all you had gone with Mr. Smith, right?
Yeah.
And you initially told them that he picked you up to do a date and you went to the Shell station. Do you recall saying that?
No, he did not pick me up for a date. He picked me, he was looking for somebody else. He asked me if I was doing anything, if I'd like to go drive around. And I said, sure, why not? I ain't got nothing else better to do.
All right. Would you recognize your own voice on a recording, do you think?
Yes. He picked me up. I was on my way home. It was raining. He picked me up. He wanted to do a date. Yeah, he wanted to the Chevron. He wanted to the Shell station. I wasn't doing a date with
And
him.
I'm sorry, if you could wait until the recording is over to start talking. The jury needs to hear this.
They need to hear the recording and they need to hear you, ma'am. So
Okay.
Sorry about that.
He picked me up. I was on my way home. It was raining. He picked me up. He wanted to do a date. He went to the Chevron. To the Shell station, and it was in his car, on his dash, and I just picked it up. That's how I got it.
Got that.
So that was your voice, right?
Yeah.
And that was you telling the officers that he picked you up to do a date, right?
Well, that was probably his initial, but I wasn't gonna do. Yes, but I wasn't gonna do no date with him.
So you did tell the officers that he picked you up to do a date.
Well, that's what he was looking for, was a date.
And then you also told the officers that he picked you up from, you went to the Sullivan Arena and to the Shell Station and dropped you off at the Shiloh Church. You didn't mention having gone to the airport. You didn't mention having gone to Ship Creek, right?
I didn't say it. He drove towards the airport. You know, there's like there's woods, there's like a place where you could pull off on the side of the road and park, you know?
So after he picked you up, you went straight to the Shell, or no, you went to the Sullivans?
Yeah.
He asked you about the date.
Yeah.
You didn't really answer. How long were you at the Sullivan Arena?
For like maybe 15 minutes.
And do you know where, on what side of the Sullivan? So you have the Sullivan, you have that ice rink, outdoor ice rinks, and then you have the Ben Boki. Where do you think you were in relation to all that?
In the back of okay. There's the Sullivan, and then there's the hockey building.
Mm-hmm.
Back behind the hockey building.
Okay. Mm-hmm. The hockey building, you're talking about what hockey? Next to the Sullivan in the same parking lot?
Yeah.
So the Ben Boki ice arena, maybe? Is it a big, large building?
Yeah, it's where they play the inside hockey.
Okay. So behind that?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know what street you turned off? How you got there? Which way you went?
Not really.
Debbie Doodle's giving out 5 memberships. Dave gets one, Deanna gets one, B Rabbit gets one, Patsy gets one, and Joe gets one. Thank you so much, Debbie. That was really kind. Thank you so much.
I think we just went down the highway.
Okay. All right.
No, went the other way. We came the other way.
Which way is that? Do you recall?
The back to the other road. Not the road where you turn off, like if you're going towards my, cause like not the road where you come down and it's Black Angus Road.
Mm-hmm.
Went the other way. Went down the hill.
Big steep hill, or?
Yeah, the steep hill. Went down that hill and went this way, and then we turned left and pulled in, and he pulled all the way back to the back of the behind the building.
Okay.
And parked in front of it's like people used to camp over there.
Okay.
And there's like a big dirt hill.
Mm-hmm.
Parked right there.
Parked right there. And how long do you think you were there?
About 15 minutes.
15 minutes. What else did he say other than talking about a date? Did he say anything else that you remember?
No, he didn't talk about nothing else.
Did he talk about specifics about what he wanted to do? Anything like that?
No.
Okay. All right. And then you said 15 minutes, and then where did he go from there?
We went to the Shell.
To the Shell station. Okay.
Yeah. And I told him it was getting late and I had to get home soon.
Okay. So how long after he comes out of the Shell and he gets back in the truck, what happens?
He asked me where he wanted to drop me off at.
Okay.
And I said the same place where you picked me up. And we got there, but my nephew wasn't there.
Okay.
And there was nobody else out there. So I said, well, better yet, can you drop me off at Shiloh Church?
Mm-hmm.
So he drove me and dropped me off at Shiloh Church.
Okay.
All right, so at no point during that did you mention baseball fields, Ship Creek, or the airport, right?
I guess not. I almost forgot.
And this was 4 years ago. You're saying this interview took place within days of when this allegedly happened, right? This interview back 4 years ago, you gave mere days after this allegedly happened, correct?
Yeah.
You told the jury, I think yesterday was an hour and a half, today was half the night, 9:30.
Well, maybe I got mixed up. I'd been drinking,
Mm-hmm. And then back when you talked to the investigators 4 years ago, when it was more fresh in your mind, you said that he picked you up at 10:30 and he dropped you off at 11, right?
I don't remember. But you're gonna play it back, so play it back, because I don't remember.
Evening or late in the morning?
It was late evening. It was probably about 11 o'clock when he dropped me off.
Dropped you off at the Shell or back at Shiloh?
At the Shiloh.
But it was before that he went to the Shell station. Is that where he picked you up at, or was it somewhere else?
No, I was.
Dave, who has been a Super Bowl for a month, says, "Thank you so much, Debbie. Thanks for being a Super Bowl, Dave."
Where did he pick me up? He picked me up right where I showed you where I found the SIM card. He picked me up right there.
Oh, at 13th and...
Right there in that parking lot.
So whenever you mark on the map?
Yeah, right there in that parking lot, he picked me up.
And what do you know what time that was?
The liquor store was about 10:30.
About 10:30 p.m.? Okay.
Yeah, because the liquor store closed in a half hour, and my neck.
So now you said he picked you up at 10:30 and dropped you off at 11, right? Did you hear yourself say that?
Yeah, but I probably got it mixed up.
And then, remember when last Friday you were served a subpoena and the officer came and talked to you for a little bit?
Mm-mm.
You don't remember on Friday that you were served a subpoena?
Mm-mm. Oh, that one.
Do you remember receiving it?
Your Honor, I'm going to object. She was served a subpoena on Thursday.
I'm sorry. I got the recording on Friday. I apologize.
She was interviewed on Friday.
Remember get the subpoena on Thursday? Do you remember receiving a subpoena?
Yeah.
Officer knocking on your door,
Do you remember which day I got it on?
talking to you. And when you talked to that officer, you said that you were with him for 18 hours.
It seemed like it. I was with him for half the night. 18 hours, half the night. I was with that guy for like fucking 18 hours. It seemed like 18 hours. Driving all over the place.
So when you were talking about this incident, when you said 18 hours, right?
No, but I said it seemed like 18 hours. It may not have been 18 hours, but it seemed like 18 hours.
Well, do you want to listen to it?
No, I don't want to listen to it again. Do you need to listen to it again?
Do you remember hearing yourself say it was about 18 hours or seemed like 18 hours? Or you said it was like 18 hours?
It was like 18 hours.
Right. You didn't say half an hour, right?
No, does that sound like 18 hours?
You didn't say an hour and a half, right?
Yeah, you're right.
You didn't say half the night.
Yeah, you're right.
You said 18 hours.
Well, maybe that's how long I've been up.
You didn't say you'd been up for 18 hours. You said you'd been with him for 18 hours, right?
Well, shit.
And then when you initially talked to the officers about this case,
Mm-hmm.
you told them you stole an SD card.
Yeah.
And that was not true.
Or did you steal the SD card?
You said you stole it from him, Mr. Smith.
Oh, no.
You did not tell the officers you stole an SD card from Mr. Smith.
Yeah, I probably did. Yeah, I did. I lied at first. We've already gone over that.
Mm-hmm. And they interviewed you. They did an entire interview with you where you persisted in saying you'd stolen the SD card from Mr. Smith, right?
Oh, my God.
Didn't you?
Didn't I? Yes, I think I did.
And you not only
Oh, come on. Here we go. If you guys missed it yesterday, this happened a bunch where it just paused and we got the circle.
Not stoned. If I've been smoking weed, I look on the ground because there's always a lot of broken phones on the ground. And last time I found an SD card on the ground over there by cars, it had 300.
What a spot to pause with the judge looking like that. This judge is dunzo. Oh, this is so annoying.
25 songs on it. So I'm like, cool, I scored. I found another SD card. Maybe there's music on it. There ain't no music on that card. And all that was on there was the thing that said homicide.
It said homicide?
On the SD.
And I'm muted. Thank you so much, Lorita, for the $4 super chat. Thank you so much.
card.
Wanted to know where you found the SD card. So they had you mark it on a map, right?
Yeah. Like right here in this lot, right here, because that's where I found the card.
Okay.
And
I'm
then-
going to make an X right there and then initial it if you don't mind. Okay. And so it was just laying in the lot? Was there anything else around it?
No, it was just laying down on the ground. Yeah.
So they had you draw on the map where you found this SD.
Yes, they sure did.
You were happy to do that in the moment.
Oh, yeah.
And that was completely untrue.
Yeah.
And then on October 2nd, they confronted you about that, right? They said, hey, we don't think.
No, they called me up and they said that they want to come pick me up and bring me back down to the office. And they said that they was going over it and something didn't add up about the SD card. And they said, I don't care if you got priors. I don't care if you're prostituting. I don't care if you're doing drugs. We just need the real truth about how you came across it. And I told them.
Well, you fought them a little bit, didn't you?
What?
You said you weren't lying. You swear to God you're not lying, is what you told them, right?
Yeah, I probably did.
Yeah, we won't go anywhere. We'll just chat a little bit and then we'll get out. I appreciate you calling back. And I know.
I've been drinking, so I've had a hangover for the rest
Oh,
of
no
the day.
worries. Not a problem. We'll make it short and sweet so I don't hold of your time too much. But I understand. I know you came and talked to me today. You were very cooperative, and I really, like I told you that day, I really appreciated that. And told me I went back to my unit and to my boss and told him everything. And the consensus was that we just had a really hard time. I mean, the SD card was so tiny to feel that would have been found on the ground like that. And I just wanted to just kind of reiterate to you that if you came up with that SD card some other way, in any other way, I don't care. I mean, obviously, if it's any other way you found it, I don't really care. We need to know the truth, because this is obviously you saw what was on that SD card.
Honest to God, I found it on the ground.
Okay, and I just want to make sure, because you saw what was on that SD card.
Yeah, and it was
if this dude's out rolling around,
It's scary.
we want to make sure we get him, and that we make sure that's stopping.
Yeah.
So that's why it's important that if there was any other detail about how you got that card.
Seriously, I found it on the ground.
Okay.
Honest to God. I'm not lying.
Tyler, you have my word, okay?
I'm not lying.
That if you found it some other way, we're not worried about what you're involved in now. As far as, I mean, we'd like to see you, in a better place, But we're not worried about any theft. We're not worried about any prostitution. We're not worried about any of that. We're worried about somebody that might be killing women at high risk.
I hear that, but I found that on the ground. Honest to God, I found it on the ground. Because I find track phone SIM cards on the ground all the time, too.
So there's no reason that a video camera covering that area would not show you finding it.
I don't know. I found it on the ground.
Okay.
So they did confront you. They did tell you they don't care about any of that.
Yes,
stuff.
I told you
And
that.
You did tell them, I swear to God, I'm not lying.
Yeah?
Got it on the ground.
Yeah?
And it was, in fact, a lie.
Yes, it
At that
was.
point, you were
But
lying about lying.
but what was on it? On the SD card, was it a lie? I believe so not.
And then they asked you about how you came into the card. And again, this is that same conversation. They'd already told you they don't care about anything else, prostitution, theft, anything like that.
Yeah. He said, where's that card at? That's my work card, is how he said, I have my work on that card.
Mr. Smith never said I have my work on that card. That's my
No, he
card.
said I have my work on that phone is what he said.
And in saying that it was the card, you were persisting in the lie.
I know what I was
That it was the
persisting.
card.
I was scared. Wouldn't you be scared too?
Okay, when he went into the cell, did he leave the car running, the truck running?
Yeah.
Okay, is that when you found the card?
Yeah.
Took the card? Okay,
Yeah.
and what did you do with the card?
I put it in my pocket.
Okay, and when he came,
There was no card, right?
No, I guess
And
it
you-
wasn't.
And you did not put any card in your pocket.
No, I put a phone in my pocket.
And then you also testified here that you are the one who titled that card,
Yeah, I titled that card.
but that's not what you told the police.
No, that's
4
not
years
what I
ago.
told the police. I lied to them about that too.
4 years ago, you told the police that you put the card in the phone. It came up, it just said homicide, right?
Mm-hmm.
There was no music on that card. And all that was on there was the thing that said homicide.
it said homicide?
On the SD card, when I put it in my phone to see if there was music on it, it just came up, it says homicide.
What was it that said homicide on it?
The title.
Oh, the title of it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you had been the one who put the files on the card and titled it that, right?
I transferred what was on that phone onto that card, yeah.
And then you retitled the card.
No, I put a title on the card.
And you gave it to the police, but you told them it was already titled that.
I know what I told them. You know what they told them. Everybody here knows what I told them.
And when you told that to the police,
I mean, I know people are hating on this guy, but this is a point that he's making up here. That's a valid point. She told the police that it said homicide on it, but she was the one who made it named homicide. I mean, not that this guy's not guilty or anything, but that's a big point.
that was a lie.
So, was the card lie?
You also told the police, or you told the jury here today, that A, you knew,
I knew both of the women.
right, and when you talked to the police when they served the subpoena last week, you recall that?
Yeah.
You told them that Mr. Smith, while he was with you on the night in question, admitted to killing Veronica.
I don't remember that. Yeah, I probably did, but I don't remember that.
Did he admitted to killing Veronica, and I knew Veronica.
Both of them.
So that was you talking to the police last week.
Your Honor, I'm going to object. That's out of context. He didn't.
Well, how is it out of context?
He admitted to killing Veronica, not to this witness. She didn't say he admitted to me that he killed me.
Yeah, I didn't say that.
Okay, so he never admitted to you that
Okay,
he never said anything
sustained.
about that to you.
No.
Okay.
Why are you trying to put words in my mouth?
And then you said, me and that one girl got out of jail on the same day. And which girl were you referring to?
Catherine Joe Henry.
And you're saying that you and she got out of...
We drank a bottle of vodka, and she said that she had to go meet somebody, and that she'd probably see me later that night.
Now, and I want to back up because you got to let me finish my question. I want to clarify when it was you remember having gotten out of jail with her.
It was... It was the 3rd.
September 3rd, 2019.
Yeah.
Which jail had you been at with her?
Highland.
How long had you been there?
See, I think 6 months. I had 6 months to 4 months.
Okay, so you did a 4-month sentence on what?
Spraying my boyfriend with bear pepper spray.
And your release date, you recall, was September 3rd, 2019.
Somewhere around there, yeah.
And that was the same day Kathleen Henry was released?
I'm pretty sure it was close around that area. I have problems with my memory, but
And you're saying now you were with her that morning,
yeah,
and you had a bottle of vodka together,
yeah, everybody drank out there.
and she said she had to go meet a friend.
Yes, she did.
So your testimony is that you saw her on the day.
The last time I seen her was on September 3rd.
Okay.
And she said something about going to get a phone and all that too. But no, I didn't put that in.
And when you talked to the police 4 years ago, now you talked to the police after you viewed the videos, right?
Huh?
You talked to the police after you viewed the pictures and the videos?
After, yeah.
And you looked at most of them, all of them?
I watched the whole thing.
You look at the pictures?
Yeah.
And enough that you were able to, recount here what you saw, right?
Like what? She's all beat up, barely breathing, her face all swollen, black and blue, legs spread eagle. He's sticking his fingers up inside of her, talking nasty to her, threatening her,
So, right, and she was, admittedly, what you viewed on the video, somebody who was beat up, swollen, right?
No, you don't see everybody like that. No.
But that's what you viewed on the video. That was the state of the person you saw on the video.
Yeah, she looked like she was close to death. She looked pretty fucked up.
And you didn't recognize her in the video.
No.
And in fact, you asked the police, hey, if you figure out who this is, let me know, right?
And then when they showed me what she looked like without being all beat up, then I recognized her.
And when was that?
I don't know.
Which officer showed you the picture?
I think it was when I was with Mr. Lee. I don't remember.
You're saying there was an interview during which an officer showed you a picture of Kathleen Henry.
I'm pretty sure.
You also told the police, well, you told the jury here today that you knew that it was the Marriott Hotel because of a screenshot, right?
Yes.
When you talked to the police, though, you told them you recognized it from the carpet. Do you recall that?
The carpet?
Of the hotel.
Probably, yeah. Carpet, bedspreads, they all look the same. Yeah, because the carpet there, because she was laying on the carpet.
And the hotel, did you recognize which hotel it might be?
I think in Marriott. Marriott hotels, the carpets, they're like diamond. Diamond pattern. And it's like a blue, like a blue on a gray color. Is one of the
This is so frustrating.
Right?
Probably not.
You never mentioned the Wi-Fi to the officers.
No, not, no.
And when you're talking to the jury here today, or yesterday, you said you recognized it because of a screenshot, and you didn't mention the carpet. Is you transferred from this phone you'd stolen from a truck onto an SD card that you'd stolen from Fred Meyer, all of the files.
There was nothing else on that phone. But from September 3rd, from the time he picked her up, September 3rd to September 5th, on that phone.
Mhm.
There wasn't even no phone numbers on that phone.
And what you transferred from that phone were, you said 46 pictures and 1 video.
3 days worth.
Yes or no? 46 pictures and 1 video.
3 days worth.
You guys can direct the witness to answer the question, please.
I think she's answered it.
Were there 46 pictures that you transferred?
3 days worth too, also, yes.
Were there 46 pictures?
We just better hope that the judge's mom doesn't pick up the phone, or the whole feed will go down, and then we'll have to reboot AOL with the CD and the router and the noise, the whole thing. We'll have to see the 3 pictures
That you transferred?
Asked and answered.
She's not answered it yet, Judge.
I said yes. Shit.
And 1 video.
3 days worth.
Was it 1 video?
Yeah, that went for 3 days.
Okay.
Should-
Thank you. And then after transferring,
And
Mhm.
in the woods.
I guess, well, while this is buffering, tonight at 7, we're doing an interview. Creators Who Crush. Oh, it's back. And it's not back. Tonight at 7, me and Shannon interviewing Lance and Tim from the Missing Maura Murray podcast, and a lot of other stuff. They have documentaries. They do a lot of cool things. So that's tonight at 7. Tonight at 9, Publicly Buzz is going to be going over this case. Oh, this is irritating as hell. Let me try something. I don't think this is going to help, but let's... What is this? Is this any better? Oh, look, they need to update. Oh, you guys can't see. They have the updates available on their site.
No.
Okay. The Shell station that he took you to, where he tried to get money, is that the one at 15th and Ingra?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And where he originally picked you up, was that at the Cars on Gamble?
Yeah, it was
Well, it appears we're on redirect now.
yeah, behind cars, like behind where the back parking lot is.
Mhm.
And then there's that white building. And then that big parking lot there is where he picked me up.
And is that where you told the police originally that you found the SD card? Okay.
Yeah.
So the spot that you told them that you found the SD card is the place that he picked you up from?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and when you marked that on the map, that's where he picked you up?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And the defense played a portion of your audio where you can hear 2 detectives. One is Detective Lee, another is Detective Jade Baker, telling you basically they don't care about theft.
Yeah.
They don't care about prostitution. Was it in that interview that you told them that
The truth?
Well, that you told them that you stole the SD card from Mr. Smith?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. So that was early on, all the way back in October of...
I got to show you guys something. What just happened. I have that part of the screen hidden, but I'm going to show you what they just did. They probably shouldn't have done it. Watch the top of the screen here. Let's see if you could see it. Watch what they do. Hold on. Oh, now it's frozen.
So that was Mr. Smith.
Truth?
Prostitution. Was it in that interview that you told them that
The truth?
Well, that you told them
do you
that
see
you
the
stole
updates
the
available?
SD card
look,
from
look.
Mr.
They're putting the updates available thing to do again
Smith?
Tomorrow night. No, do it now.
I
Update your
think so,
computer,
yeah.
you jabronis.
So that was early on, all the way back in October of
They freaking should do it at lunchtime or something. Update your
2019.
Mac,
Within
you dopes. What are you
within
doing?
days, you told them that you had stolen the SD card, not that you found it.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I want to ask you about phones. For folks who are homeless, are phones a commodity, meaning something that you can trade or something that you,
Yeah, they do.
and the same with SD cards?
Yeah, probably.
Alcohol, is alcohol something you can trade or use?
Oh, you could trade anything. You could trade somebody else's car.
You were asked about whether or not the officers ever showed you a photo of Kathleen Joe Henry. Do you know if they did, or did you possibly see that on the news somewhere?
I really can't remember. Honestly.
And when you met with Officer Emerson at the very, very beginning at your doctor's office, do you recall telling him that the woman was beat up so badly that you couldn't recognize her?
Yeah, I think he's the one that showed me what she looked like. Maybe,
but you don't remember?
I can't really remember.
What's really important, Valerie, is I don't want you to guess. Do you recall telling Officer Emerson that I could probably recognize her, but she's so beat up, I just can't?
Yeah.
I want to talk to you just a little bit about timing. How reliable do you think your sense of time is from 4 years ago?
What do you mean?
Like when you talk about something being hours or days, when you're using, does that affect how you perceive time?
Oh, yeah.
I think you said yesterday, sometimes when you use, you'll be up for 3 days.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you always recognize that as 3 days, or sometimes does it feel like 1 day between sleeps?
Sometimes, yeah, it can feel like 1 day.
Okay. And I want to talk to you a little bit about going to see Dr. Thornquist. Before you went and saw Dr. Thornquist, had you already transferred that information to the SD card?
I think so.
Okay. If the police took the SD card from you at Dr. Thornquist's office, it would make sense that that had already happened, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And I want to ask you about the time it took from the time that you stole the phone until you went to see Dr. Thornquist.
I think it was a couple days, give or take.
Okay. Do you remember a phone call with Detective Lee where you told him it was probably about a week?
Yeah, it could have been. A couple days, yeah, give or take.
Do you think your memory about time would be more reliable when you talk to Detective Lee, or more reliable now?
I don't understand.
When you were telling Detective Lee that it was, you had the card about a week before you went to, or that you had the images, the phone about a week before you went to see Dr. Thornquist, were you being honest with him about that?
Yes, ma'am.
And I want to ask you about those images. Regardless of how you came into possession of the phone, did you alter the images at all?
No, I don't know how to do that. I wouldn't do that.
Okay. Did you alter the video at all?
I don't know how to do that either, but I wouldn't do that. What would be the cause?
Did you do your best to copy it all over?
No, I just put it all on the SD card. And the only one is the one the cops got.
Okay. Did you intentionally delete or change anything?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so you did do your best to copy it all over.
Yeah. I got all of it.
And those images that you saw, timing and all of that aside, have those stayed with you?
In my head?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have any other questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
That means you're done, man. Yeah.
Okay.
Is the next witness a fairly long witness?
20 minutes.
And I'm wondering if we should take a break now or after the next witness. Okay, good. Go ahead.
I just got a $20 Venmo from Kara H. Continue your good work. Kara, I don't know if you're in here. Thank you so much. And thank you all for being here and watching with us. And thank you, mods, for the great job you do every day.
Mr. Jack Emerson.
So remain standing and raise your right hand and we'll swear you.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you will give in the case on this court will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. Please proceed and please state your name and spell your last name for the record.
My name is Jack Emerson. Last name is Emmerson.
I'm sorry, Judge, can I just have one moment?
Yes, you may.
Thank you.
Make sure
Master Clerk, could you turn on the TV for me?
Make sure you're subscribed to Publicly Buzzed.
Please. Thank you.
Tonight, going over the testimony. Oh, that was Ellie M. Thank you so much,
Yeah.
Ellie M.
My cousin calls.
Who gave the $20. Thank you, Ellie.
Need a 50-foot cord, not a 30-foot cord.
All right, this is what I'm going to do for you. I'm going to try to
Emerson, where do you work?
I work for the Anchorage Police Department.
make it so you can see
And how long have you worked there?
this.
Since December of 2016.
And can you just
I'm going to try to make it so you can see this witness because I know some ladies want to see what this witness looks like. So let me see if I can do this. Hold on. We're going to do this. And then we're going to do this. See if this helps. Sorry, that's about as good as I could do for you ladies. And gentlemen, maybe. I
describe some of the training experience you received to become an officer?
Well, at the beginning in 2016, I attended an academy that was approximately 6 months in length, where I learned basic police investigation to include interviews, evidence collection, how to deal with conflict, and shooting and defensive tactics. And then after that 6-month academy, I went on to a 4.5-month field training officer program where I applied those skills that I had learned in the field as a police officer.
And where do you currently, what is your current role at APD?
My current role is as a swing shift patrol officer.
So what does that mean exactly?
I'm working and taking calls for service from dispatch or responding to other incidents around the city during the hours of 3 p.m. to 1 a.m.
I want to take you back to 2019. Were you working as a patrol officer back in 2019?
Yes, I was, and it's the same shift as I'm working now.
And I want to take you back specifically to September 30, 2019. Were you dispatched to a Dr. Thornquist's office?
Yes, I was.
And what was the nature of the dispatch as you understood it?
The nature of the dispatch, as I understood it, was a female had arrived and reported that she had obtained a SD card containing images that may have reflected a homicide. When I responded, I arrived and contacted a Valerie Kassler, who I identified by name and date of birth, and who I had met previously before in the Fairview area. And I collected an SD card, which I then viewed.
When you initially met with Ms. Kassler, what was the information she provided you about where she had found the SD card?
The information that Ms. Kassler provided me was that she was in the Fairview area, specifically in the area of the cars on Gamble, which is at 13th and Gamble, where she recovered an SD card from the ground.
And did you view the images at the doctor's office with Ms. Kassler?
Yes, I did.
And how did you view those images?
I used her phone to view those images.
And did you review at that time all the images that were on the phone?
I don't believe, or at least I don't recall viewing all the images. I reviewed enough images to make a determination to call my supervisor.
Okay. And based on your review of the images, you said you called your supervisor. What happened at that point?
And then we contacted the homicide unit, and then I took the SD card to our cyber crimes unit, where I met with the technicians there and Detective Lee.
Okay. So you said you viewed the images on her phone, and then you did not take her phone, correct?
No, I did not take her phone.
You took, what did you take from Ms.
I
Kassler?
took the SD card from Ms. Kassler.
What did you do with Ms. Kassler at that point?
I transported her to detectives for an interview.
Okay. Did you take photos of the phone and the images as you were looking or on some of the images as you were looking them on Ms. Kassler's phone?
Yes, I did.
Okay. The first thing I want to do though is I want to show you what's been marked as State's Exhibits 26. And then I'm also going to show you what's marked as State's Exhibits 37, 38, and 39. Judge, may I approach the witness?
Yes.
That's 26, and this is 37, 38, and 39. Let's talk first about exhibit number 26. And that's in the package there. Do you recognize that?
Yes, I do.
And what is that?
This is a micro SD card.
Okay, is that the SD card that you received from Ms. Kassler?
Yes, it is.
Okay. And you said you delivered it to the Anchorage Police Department specifically. Did you say Mr. Hunter?
No, I said the cyber crimes unit.
Okay. Do you remember who, in particular, if you dropped it off or gave it to one particular person in cyber crimes?
I didn't catch his name. I'm not very great with names,
Okay.
But I believe it was Technician Hunter.
Okay. And at this time, I'd like to move to admit exhibit number 26.
Is there objection?
That's the SD card. No. Okay. And then I'd like to turn to exhibits 37, 38, and 39. Do you recognize those photos?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And just generally, what are those pictures of?
These are pictures of Ms. Kassler's phone with the this is a picture of the phone with the tab SD card pulled up, and on there reflects what was displayed on the phone at the time.
Are those pictures a true and accurate representation of your investigation and contact with Ms. Kassler on September 30 of 2019?
Yes, they are.
Okay. At this time, Judge, I would move to admit and publish 37, 38, and 39.
Is there objection?
39, Judge, may we approach?
Yes.
We have an approach, folks. That means it's time for shots. Oh, I didn't have the sound on. I don't know how many people are going to know this reference, but this witness kind of looks like Todd Frazier, former Cincinnati Red, former New York Met, former New York Yankee, Todd Frazier. I believe he's from New Jersey. Babe remembers Todd Frazier. Why is there no sound?
The SD card is selected. On the SD card are those different files.
And let's then move to exhibit number 38.
38. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
38 is a zoomed in photo of this specific file, Homicide Marriott Hotel.
And last number, exhibit number 39. Can you describe what we're looking at here?
39 is once the file folder for Homicide Marriott Hotel was opened, is the screen that was displaying these photographs and images.
And is this just one particular shot of just the initial screen when you click on that folder?
Yes.
Okay. So, Officer Emerson, you said you were familiar with Ms. Kasler from, I think, the Fairview area.
Yes.
Can you kind of describe your previous interactions with her?
Previous interactions with her, we had some disturbances in the areas of the Fairview area for a long time, and I've just had her, have witnessed her and talked to her in passing contact for different things. Nothing criminal in nature or anything like that.
How would you describe her demeanor when you met with her at Dr. Thornquist's office?
When I spoke with Ms. Kasler at Mr. Thornquist's office, she appeared to be shaken, just kind of anxious, I would say. And when she talked to me, she was just kind of worried. And I believe it was because she had possession of something that was very concerning.
Do you recall when you were dispatched, who made the phone call to that resulted in your initial dispatch to Dr. Thornquist's office?
No, I don't.
Do you recall if Ms. Kasler, when she was talking to you about the images that initially, when you responded and she was talking about the images that were on the SD card, if she discussed whether or not if she said she couldn't recognize the woman on the SD card because she was so beaten up in black and blue?
That is correct. I did listen to my audio recorded interview with her this morning, and she did say that she couldn't recognize the person on the images and that they had severe injury.
When you listened to your audio this morning, did she have any concerns when she was describing the person on the images that it might be someone she knew?
No.
Or recognized anyone? Did or didn't recognize who that person was?
Correct. I specifically asked her if she recognized these individuals, and she said she did not.
Okay, if those are all the questions I have for you, Officer Emerson, thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, officer.
Good morning.
So you responded to Dr. Thornquist's office after the call came in that there was something to respond to there, right?
Yes.
And when you got there, you spoke to Dr. Thornquist and Ms. Kasler?
Yes.
And there was already this SD card, right?
Correct.
And that's what was going to be turned over to you?
Yes.
You have no personal knowledge as to where that SD card had been even an hour before you got there?
No.
Never mind a day before you got there?
Correct.
When you got there, Ms. Kasler had a single phone on her, right?
Yes.
And if we looked at, I'm not going to publish it right now, but exhibit 37, the picture of the black phone you took a picture of, that was the phone she had on her?
Correct.
So she was in possession of that phone when you spoke to her?
Yes.
Was not in possession of a second phone?
Not that I'm aware of.
When you initially spoke to her, she did not tell you that this SD card was a copy of pictures and videos from a separate phone.
No.
Right. And had she told you that, presumably your next question would have been, where is that phone, right?
Correct.
And you would have asked her to either produce it or tell you where you could find it.
Yep.
It was also given to you already titled Homicide at Anchorage Marriott Hotel, Midtown.
Yeah.
She did not tell you that she's the one who gave it that title, right?
Right.
She implied, in fact, that she found it with that title on it.
Yes.
When you looked at the photos, did you happen to notice if there were any screenshots? It wouldn't show like the Anchorage Marriott Wi-Fi or anything like that.
No, I don't recall that.
You don't remember seeing anything like that on it?
No.
Did you go through all the files that were on the, sorry, I'm going to rephrase that a little bit. Not asking if you looked at every single one of the files, but did you scan how many files were on the card when you initially viewed it?
I'm not sure. I don't believe I went over every single file or scanned all the files. I just mostly focused on what I was given.
Okay. So when you got there, you were simply shown on Ms. Kassler's phone, which she was in possession of, files on an SD card, and you seized the SD card and interviewed her.
Yes.
All right. Thank you.
Officer Emerson, you said you didn't look at necessarily every single one, but you did look at some of the photos.
Yes, I did.
Do you recall if you also looked at any videos?
Yes, I did.
What was your initial impression of what you did see?
Object to relevance. Be on this across as well.
What is the relevance?
The relevance, Judge, is he is asked if he's looked at them. I want to talk about, and that does actually was in the cross, that what he did and didn't do with regards to the images, and it also goes to a state of mind as to what he did with the investigation.
Overall.
Okay. So when I viewed the videos, this is the first time I'd ever responded to an incident like this, where I was collecting evidence of a homicide. And in the videos, it depicted a male.
Object, Judge.
Yeah, sorry.
Going into the contents rather
sorry
than what he did. I think we're going to be on the scope across here.
The objection is non-responsive. It's sustained.
So what was your impression of what you did, the content that you did view? What was your general impression?
My impression was that this is a very serious matter and that our homicide unit needed to be informed.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You're done, officer.
All right. Thank you. I'm gonna untangle.
Let's, it's been over an hour. I think maybe it's a good time to take a break for folks. Take 15 minutes. Take up, we'll take a break now. If there are matters we need to take up, we'll do that before we bring the jury back in.
Thank
Take 15 minutes.
I can't think of anything. So we have 2 more witnesses before Detective Lee. 3. Three witnesses before Detective Lee. It's before Detective Lee, we'll need a more substantial break.
Yeah.
Okay.
Take a break.
I've got it. I have it on my desktop.
Ooh, hot mic, guys. Hot mic. Hot mic. Oh, maybe they turned it off. So let me tell you guys what's going on schedule wise. I don't know how late this case is going to go, but we do have our Creators Who Crush interview, me and Shannon, Lance and Tim at 7 p.m. Eastern. This case could still be going on. I didn't anticipate a a trial that would be going that late because I've never really handled one, I don't think. So if it is still, if at 7, it's still, if after 8 o'clock when we end, it's still going on, I'll come back until probably 9, which is when Steve will be going live. So just a heads up, but we got that going on. And then tomorrow, guys, I don't know if you saw my tweet, but I'm going to show you who I had been teasing about a guest that I'm going to have on tomorrow. And I'm super freaking excited about it. If you didn't see, I'm going to show you who it is now. Tomorrow at 12 Eastern, for those who are familiar with the what was I saying? I just lost my train of thought. Babe, what was I saying? For those familiar with the Adelson case, who we are having on I got the whole I got to make this bigger. That's what he said. For those who are not familiar with the Adelson case, who I am having on tomorrow for an interview from the firm Jansen and Davies. You probably recognize Tim Jansen, who is on Surviving the Survivor all the time. But you know who's going to come on tomorrow with me, who reached out to me and asked if I wanted to discuss the Adelsons? Kathleen Katie Bogenschutz. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. I'll find out tomorrow. I've never had it. We have, obviously, I've had defense attorneys on before. We've had other attorneys on. We've never had a prosecutor. She was born and raised in Fort Lauderdale. And she was a prosecutor for 12 years, folks. 12 years, including 3 years in which she was working with Georgia Capelman. 3 years. Helen, it's not Tim. We're not having Tim. It's going to be Kathleen Katie. She worked 3 years in Georgia Capelman's office. So we're going to talk all about the Adelsons. And we're so excited for her to come on and talk to her tomorrow at 12 Eastern before this trial starts, which is at 1. We might go a little bit into the trial, and then I'll switch to the trial, but we'll see how it goes. So, yeah, she's coming on tomorrow, folks. I'm so excited to talk to her about the case. We've been talking on the old Twitter machine. She, like I said, she reached out to me. She DM'd me, and I followed her back. So give her a follow, actually, because that's the only thing. I asked her if she had any links. Give her a follow. Let her know you're excited for the interview. Folks always love to hear that. If you're on the old Twitter machine, here you go. And what I'm hoping is, I mean, I could have read it wrong when she was messaged me, but I hope she comes on and will come on like other times, kind of like as like sort of a consultant, or I don't know what you want to call it, but if she could come on, like whenever there's a Donna appearance, there's one coming up next week, that would be awesome. Right, the 12th, right? Is that Monday? What day is the 12th? Any hoozle, super excited for her to come on and to talk to her about the case. And she was there in Georgia Capelman's office when the first trial of Katie Magbanowa and Sigfredo Garcia went down. She was working in that office. I'm just pumped. And again, we've had defense attorney. You know, of course, we love Bob and Allie. And we've had on Afi, who I don't know if she was a defense attorney. I know she's the attorney for divorce court, like their entertainment attorney, but we've never had a prosecutor on. I reached out to another prosecutor, and he said he would come on, and then he lied, and then he unfollowed me so he can go fuck himself. But what? I didn't say his name. Well, he was a dick. I've been blown off before, but he's like not only did he's like, yeah, I'll do it, email me, and then he unfollowed me. And anyway, let me make sure we're not missing anything here. That's tomorrow at 12 Eastern. I'm not saying the name. I'm not saying the name. Babe was just surprised by that, which is surprising in and of itself. But anyway, just really cool for someone to reach out to me and ask if they want. I'm like, when they reached out to me, I was like, I don't know. And then I saw who it was. I'm like, hell yeah, if you want to come on, you can come on, please. That would be amazing. Why has this got the circle of death? That's not fun. Oh, so, and then I forgot to mention, thank you, Ayana. I forgot to mention that Saturday for our patrons and Viv's patrons, Art with Viv, paint and sip at 3 Eastern, where Viv guides us through a painting. It's Valentine's themed. And even if you don't paint, just listening to Viv's soothing voice is always amazing. So that's Saturday at 3. Do we have anything else going on? That's it, right, babe? Babe said that not this Saturday, but next Saturday she'll be back to do a psych show. If Botcha could wake up, that would be nice. Botrix, you silly bitch. Wake up. Come on. What are you doing, Botrix? Nope, still kick only. Oh, there's Viv. Viv says she can't wait. It's always awesome when Viv. Thank you again, Viv, for doing that. Make sure you subscribe to Viv's YouTube if you're not already. If the bot would wake up, it would share her channel. Did it not do it? It's at Art with Viv on the old YouTube. And by the way, the art with Viv, what's up, Tanya? We do an unlisted stream. We don't delete it, so you can go back and watch it if you don't see it live. If you just want to watch it afterwards. Did it still not share? This freaking bot. Both bots are down? What the there it is. There's Viv's channel. Make sure you're subscribed if you're not already. And you don't even have to paint, guys. You can draw if you want. You could use crayons if you don't want to. You could use. By the way, the supply list is on Patreon. I posted it, so if you need to get supplies before Saturday, get them. Am I gonna paint? I don't know. I'm not sure yet. We could do it together? Yeah, you're right. We can do it together. Babe just laughed embarrassingly, and it was quiet. You guys couldn't hear it. Well, thanks for being here, everyone. We're on break. Again, if this case is still going on at 7, I'll probably break around 6 to set up the stream for Lance and Tim. If you guys haven't noticed, I've kind of been we've kind of scaled down the interviews. It's kind of wild, and me and Shannon were just talking about this. We had and this is through no fault of you guys. I don't feel like there's at least with our interviews, there's a huge audience. Like, we had Sarah Turney on. She has the #1 podcast right now on all of Apple. #1 podcast. And there were like 50 to 60 people here, which is fine. I don't mind that. But, you know, if I have to think about return on investment, and I have to think about what's going to get subscribers and what's going to get revenue, what's going to get clicks, like, making videos is the highest. Second is live streaming. And like, so if you notice that we do less interviews, although I'm hoping tomorrow there'll be a lot of people to be there for that. Oh, looks like we're back. Yeah, if you guys missed it, I made a short today about some things that Wendy Adelson, the biggest piece of garbage around, one of the biggest pieces of garbage around, what she said on a podcast, a creative writing podcast about 10 months after Dan was murdered. The stuff she was saying on this podcast, she is a vile human being. And I'm going to continue to post things to get it out there that people realize she is vile, along with her mother. Just a vile piece of garbage. Talking about whether she should call him her ex late husband or her late ex-husband, but that sounds like late ex-husband. Talking about how just awful things that how she married him not for love, just because he would be a good father. Like, imagine saying that 10 months after he's murdered on a podcast. You know it's going to be available for everyone, and is available right now, and that her kids could listen to right now. Can you imagine that? What an absolute piece of crap. Thanks, Joanne. Like, just being completely tone deaf and unaware of anything. Like she thought that latex joke was like a funny joke, and people would find that funny and not absolutely revolting. Like, that's how out of just awareness she is. How her narcissism. Like, she thought people thought that podcast would be great and she would be funny and they would buy her book because of it. Like, she is just repugnant. A repugnant human being. Yeah, she must be. She must be every second of every hour petrified. Because not only did Charlie go down, not only is her mom now in jail, but guess what? They got her mom and her dad's electronics. And you think she's confident that they don't have anything on there that ties her into this? I bet you she's not. I mean, I'm sure she did real good deleting stuff, even though I don't think she did perfect deleting stuff. But I bet that she's thinking about that every day. What did mom and dad have on their iPads when her mom doesn't even realize that she's on the phone talking to Charlie on a recorded line, that she's going to flee the country and off herself? That idiot, that dumb Corleone, that stupid idiot. She you know how some of these rich people go to, like, I don't know, maybe it's not a rich people thing, but some of these people go like to places where they sit down and they get like fluids, like IV'd into them to like, she does the same thing, except she does it with Pepto-Bismol. They sit her ass down, they mainline Pepto into her because she just is just shitting all the time because she's worried about it. I really hope she sees some of my stuff. That would make me happy if she saw the shit that I'm making. You guys want to see something wild, actually? I was looking at you, so you can look at your analytics. You can break it down so much. Your like every video. So I want to show you something interesting. Let me see if I can show you guys this. This stuff is interesting to me, and whatever. While we have a break here, it might be interesting to you guys. All right. So first of all, right now my number one video is this video that has so I'm up to 1,446,000 views. The number one video I have is has 45,000 views, but this is the thing that I found super interesting. If I click on that, it's Wendy the Conspirator. That's my number one video so far. But if you click on that, this is what I found super interesting. What do I do? How do I do this? No, that's not what I want. Shit. How do I do this? No, I'm not going to know how to. I did this before. It shows you what. No, that's not what I wanted. It shows you what people search. Can you, if you guys had a guess, what do you think is the number one search that people, when they try this video, what do you guys think is the number one term that people search for when they search for this video? I think this is where it is, but I'm not going to show you yet. If you had a guess. Gotti, Wendy Adelson guilty, Wendy liar, Wenda liar. No, watch this, folks. You're never going to guess it. You're never going to guess it because it blew my mind when I saw it. Satan. Satan. No. Look at what the number one thing is, folks. 31% of people that wanted to find this video found it by searching J. Me. Is that weird or what? 2.7% searched the shaming of Jay. And then Wendy the Conspirator, Dark Livity podcast. I don't even know what that is. I just thought that was pretty wild. Then there's STS Nation, Surviving the Survivor, 48 Hours. Katie, look, Katie Kool-Lady's on there. Trisha Paytas, what? I mean, these are weird, but does anyone even know what the Dark Livity Babe, do you know what that is? Deanna says she always types J. That's so interesting. I would never think that. Oh, look, J-Bo Nation on there. Anyway, I thought that was super interesting. Why is this not live yet? Katie Kool-Lady does rock, and if you're not following her, you should be. She's awesome. And Babe may have her on for a future episode of Psych, so just look out for that. Not related to the Adelsons, I'll give you that much, too. Jan asked, do I have any idea why I don't come up in your notifications? I don't, Jan, but I will tell you this. If your Kick is free, and if you get Kick only for the notifications to know that I'm live on YouTube, it might be worth it. Kick gives you good notification. Oh, see, there you go. YouTube is the worst with notifications. Stevie was just telling me the other day that he got a notification for one of my shorts 2 days later. Not my basketball shorts. And this is fun. Yeah, Charlotte. What I want to do, if there, I assume there has to be a website where if someone tells you, like Charlotte, if you told me what city you're from, or I mean, I know you're from the United Kingdom. Is that what you guys refer to it? Anyway, if there's got to be a website where I could just put in everyone's location and it makes a map for me, right? I would assume. So that would be something cool to do. Oh, Danielle says Dark Livity is where I learned Idiot Wendy bought Bullet Rye whiskey instead of Bullet Bourbon. Wow, that's interesting. Oh, I'm sorry if I missed your comment. Well, you know what we can do while we're all waiting, since Mambo is helping out with the stickers. Let's do a sticker contest. And my mom will mail out the stickers. Giveaways. All right, type JBN in the chat if you want to win some of our stickers. Type JBN in the chat. Oh my God, is it not working because Botrix is not awake? I can't do it. Never mind, guys. Botrix is not awake, so it won't do it. What? Type all the names down? Oh, like close my eyes? All right, that's what I have to do. I'm going to have to close my eyes and just randomly pick one because this is not working. Sorry. Botrix, what's your deal today, Botrix? All right, I'm going to close my eyes and just pull the chat up and close my eyes and pick one. So, all right. Here we go. Close your eyes, Jay. Close, close, close. Hopefully I pick on one that says JBN and not just a random comment. Shannon L., congratulations. Email me your address and I'll forward it to my mom to send some stickers. Shannon L. I'll do one more. LOL, that's not one I want. All right. I didn't want that one either. Hold on. Tanya Malone. There we go. Tanya Malone and Shannon L. Email me at theshamingofjay@gmail.com. Email me your addresses and I'll get those stickers out to you. Shannon L. and Tanya Malone. Email me at theshamingofjay@gmail.com and we'll get you out those stickers. And I'll forward them to my mom who will get those out to you. I don't know what the hell's wrong with Botrix. It's pissing me off. Donnie, I'm fairly certain I've mailed you all those stickers already. Oh, this is good. This is good to see. What the fuck? Are you kidding me right now? What is going on with this shit? I'm sorry, guys. This is like, what the hell, man? Will I be covering the Treehouse murder retrial? I don't know, but I will tell you this. Donnie, are you still here? Because you're going to like to hear this, Donnie. Donnie, are you still here or are you mad because I clicked on your thing and didn't pick it? It depends because there's some cases come. It just depends what else is going on, Beachy. I'll let you know. Donnie, I hope you don't have Dizzy blocked, Donnie, because Dizzy, the Dizster, sent me the application, which I filled out, and I applied to Santa Clara County or wherever it is for a media pass for the Cain Velasquez trial. Doesn't mean I'll get it, but I did apply, Donnie, and you can thank Dizzy for that. Fingers crossed, guys. I mean, I don't know if they just give it to any jabroni like me, but I have applied for media access for the Cain Velasquez trial. And if it's just streaming, I might be able to do that. I don't know. So Donnie, I hope you don't have Dizzy blocked because she's the one that did that. What it means is, Donnie, the court has my application, and if they approve it, I can stream the Cain Velasquez trial. No, I don't. I'm not going there, Donnie. I just mean stream it. This is great, guys. This is wonderful. Oh, this is so annoying. Oh, what are they doing? Oh, this media could not be loaded. This is wonderful. Click on watch now, you jabroni. Beachy asked what my thoughts on the Cain trial on. I'll tell you this. I know nothing about it. Tracy Smith with a $2 super chat. Thank you so much, Tracy. The bot won't read it because the bot's asleep and being a dopey biatch. Tracy, thank you so much. What a fun way to watch a trial. I don't know, guys. I don't know. All right, I got the emails from Tanya and Shannon, and I am forwarding them to my mom to mail out the stickers. Sorry, guys. I wish I could fix this, but I can't. I'm not sure how long I should sit here. Donnie. Dizzy didn't buy you anything, Donnie. Dizzy sent me the form to send to the courts to watch the Cain Velasquez trial, and I just know that you really wanted to see that. You've been telling me about that trial for a while, so I just thought you would be happy that Dizzy did that. Well, look at Deanna's going to be at the courthouse in 15 to 20 minutes. Deanna, tell them to get their act together with this stuff. Who's Paula? We love you, Donnie. Donna has a hearing coming up on the 12th, I think, Brooklyn. Is that Monday, I think? By the way, did anyone notice, you see this little picture here? Guys, I'm hitting refresh. Oh, here we go.
Need your employee information.
Yes, yeah. So to book the hotel, you just need the code. When you show up at the hotel to actually stay at the hotel, that's when you would present them with either your employee ID or your authorization form that any employee would have.
I want to talk to you about, so you started working at the Spring Hill Suites in June of 2019?
Yes. Yes, I did.
And was Brian Smith an employee there at that hotel?
He was, yes, in our engineering or maintenance department.
What was his what were his assigned duties?
So pretty much, broadly speaking, all maintenance and upkeep at the hotel.
Oh, this sounds like this is Brian's boss at the motel.
We had a 3-person crew at the time. The head of engineering, or chief engineer, we would call him, and then Brian and another employee working under that individual.
And what are some of the things that engineers do around your hotel?
Oh gosh, anything from clogged toilets to doors that aren't closing properly, lock batteries needing replacements, light bulbs burned out. It's snow removal in the winter, so it's a fairly broad and wide-ranging job description.
And I want to take you back to September of 2019. Excuse me, I'm going to take you back to October of 2019. Were you contacted by the Anchorage Police Department?
Yes.
And what was the nature of the contact you had with the Anchorage Police Department? So
they arrived at the hotel and confirmed they were in the right location, and then gave me a search warrant for the premises, and they then waited there with me until the search took place, and that was the nature of my contact with them.
What were the premises at your hotel that they were searching?
So primarily the engineering office, which was where Brian and the other engineers would have kind of shared a computer area, all the tools and supplies that they would need for their to do their job would have been in that room.
You said there were 3 engineers, that Mr. Smith was one of 3, is that correct?
Yes, correct.
Can you tell us the names of the other 2?
Yes, so our chief engineer at the time was Gary Pleasant, and the other individual, I believe, was named David. I'm not sure his last name.
So the chief engineer was Mr. Pleasant?
Yes, that's correct.
Do you know if Mr. Pleasant and Mr. Smith were friends?
I believe they were, yes.
Were you friends with Mr. Smith?
I would say that I was on friendly terms with Mr. Smith, like many employees at the hotel, but I don't know that I would describe us as friends, other than just friendly acquaintances at work.
And when you work at your hotel, how do people account for their time? How do they get paid?
So at that hotel, we had a time clock, essentially a little tablet computer mounted to the wall in the break room.
So just to clarify, Kathleen Henry was the woman who was murdered at the hotel. Veronica Obochuk was the woman who was murdered at his house, allegedly.
Would punch in upon arrival and punch out at the end of their.
And is that something then that the hotel keeps as a normal course of business, the punch cards?
Yes, yeah. The punch cards are then directly linked to the payroll system, so we would keep all of those records.
I'm going to, Judge, if I can approach.
You may.
Okay. I'm going to show you what's marked as State's Exhibit number 33.
Yes, this isn't different.
This guy is giving me vibes of that nerdy guy in Breaking Bad who tries to sell
And do you recognize exhibit number 33?
the pain pills.
Yeah, I do.
What would
He's
you
like
describe?
a pharmacist or something.
What are you looking at in exhibit number 33?
was that Better
So this
Call
is
Saul?
a punch detail report. This would have come from our time code system that shows the punch in and punch out activity for Mr. Smith from the dates of September 1st through September 10th of 2019.
And Judge, at this time, I'd like to move to admit and publish exhibit number 33.
Any objection?
No, Judge.
It's admitted and you may publish.
And so I know that's small, but let's read through just the day before. Let's try it with September 2nd. What day did Mr. Smith arrive to work or punch in?
That'd be 7:55 a.m.
And what day did he punch in on September 3rd?
Just got a $20 cash app from Ayana Venvidi. Thank you so much. I got to do this because the bot's not working.
Thanks a lot, man.
Thank you so much, Ayana.
7:45 a.m.
On September 4th?
That would be 9:29 a.m.
And would that be a normal time that he would appear for work?
No, that would not be a normal time. Our shifts were typically 8 hours, and it looks like that day was just 7 hours.
So he didn't work a full shift that day?
No.
I don't have any other questions for Mr. Steele. Thank you. Mr. Ayer might have some questions for you, Mr. Steele.
No cross, Judge.
You're done, sir. Thank you.
All right, the guy with the Hummer from Breaking Bad is done. Car, truck, relax. Everyone calm down. No, Shelly. He took the victim in his car. And there's video of him putting her in his truck. Yes, both victims were found outside.
Your Honor, this is Detective Tiffany Lufman.
Detective, right here next to me, please. Please remain standing, raise your right hand, and we'll swear you in.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you will give in the case now before this court will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. Please state your name and spell your last name.
My name is Tiffany Lufman, and my first name is Tiffany, and Lufman is Loughman.
Loafman's a lady?
Detective, can you introduce yourself to the jury and let
I did not picture Loafman being a lady. I'm not going to lie to you.
them know what you do for a living?
Morning. My name is Tiffany Lufman. I'm a detective with Anchorage Police Department. I'm currently in financial crimes, but I have worked in various units at APD, and I was also a police officer and detective out of state before that.
And when did you hire on with the APD?
APD 2005, okay. But I started, my very first academy was fall of 93.
Okay, and what state was that in?
That was Colorado.
Okay, so fall of 93, are you pushing 30 years here in law enforcement?
Pushing, yeah, 30 years.
Okay. So is it fair to say most of your time has been in financial crimes?
Correct.
Okay.
Financial crimes, Eagle River, burglary, homicide.
Okay. And were you in the homicide unit in October and September of 2019?
I was.
Okay. And at that point, when a case would come into the homicide unit, how was it handled?
So a case would come in and we would all meet together, the homicide unit, all the detectives would meet and then be briefed on things and then go from there, and assignments would be handed out.
Okay. Is there typically a case officer assigned?
There is.
Okay. And for the case that we're here for today, Mr. Smith, who was that case officer?
Detective Lee.
Okay. And did you have a number of assignments with regard to this case?
I did.
Okay. When you all got the very first briefing, what's the first thing you saw or heard about the case? Without getting into terrible specifics, but how did it come to the APD?
Well, it came to Detective Lee, and then he brought it to the homicide unit. And it was a video and some photographs.
And based on what you observed on the video and photographs, were you tasked with doing some detective work in town?
It was.
Tell the jury about that. What did you do?
So Detective Lee had gotten this information I believe it was previous day, and had shared it with us. And so one of the things that he had gotten was some information that this may have occurred at Town Place Suites in Midtown. And so another detective and I went to this hotel to try to see what other information we could get, if we could get any surveillance video or just whatever they might have that we could get.
Okay. And what detective did you go with?
Detective Roberts, Christina Roberts.
Okay. And when you go to the Town Place Suites Marriott, who do you contact?
Lisa Michelson.
Okay. Were you just in the hallway with her?
Yes.
Okay. And did Miss Michelson provide you some information about Brian Smith?
She did.
Okay. Specifically, did she provide you records of his?
I don't think she gave me records. I think Detective Lee had already gotten those records, but she did confirm some things that Detective Lee had been given. And we tried to get the video surveillance from her. She was having difficulty getting into that.
So you weren't able to get the video surveillance right then and there. What did y'all do?
Right. So I let her try to get it through her regular channel of IT people to try to get in. And then she wasn't able to get in. So I believe it was the next day I actually took one of our cyber crimes personnel, Brandon Hunter, over there, and he wasn't able to get in either. So he took the whole machine.
Okay. And did Ms. Michelson also give you all access to room 323?
Jan gifted out a membership. Let's see who gets it. Tracy Smith. Awesome. Thank you so much, Jan. You rock. You're the best. Thank you so much, Jan.
There were guests staying in 323 at that time. So she had the guests removed from that. And then I notified our crime scene folks. And eventually, I believe she'd given them permission to get in.
Okay. Did you kind of coordinate that or help with the liaison for that?
Correct.
At the time, did you also look at the carpet in the hotel?
I did. She let me into another room and said that all the rooms were carpeted the same. And so I did go into another room and observe the carpet in that room.
Okay. And what was significant about that observation?
It appeared to be the same carpet, as the same pattern and colors as the carpet in the video.
Did the room appear to have the same layout?
That I don't know. I just, was mostly focused on the carpet.
Oh, shizzle. Defense attorney Meow. Wait a second. Defense attorney Meow. I think I could do something with this if I still have it here. Thank you. All right, I won't pull this. Thank you so much for becoming a beau, defense attorney Meow.
Perfect.
Did you do any other work to try and obtain surveillance video in or around the Marriott?
I did.
Okay, tell the jury about that.
So Christina, Detective Roberts, and I went and canvassed the area. And by canvass, we walk around, we drive around, we look for cameras that might be on other buildings. The Metro Mall sits kind of across the street from the hotel. So we met with the owner of
and
the Metro
what did you
Mall,
go to the
Mr.
Shell
Shannon.
station at 15th and Ingra for?
I believe Detective Lee had gotten information that said there was possibly an ATM that had been used by Mr. Smith.
This is what happens when you have two feeds going at once. Sorry.
And asked him if he had any surveillance.
And liaison with the Marriott Hotel. Were you tasked with an out-of-state trip?
Yes.
How did that come about?
So I believe it was that Saturday. I don't know the exact date. We had a unit meeting, detective unit meeting, homicide unit meeting, and Detective Cordy and I were tasked with going to Washington, D.C. Because it had been discovered that Mr. Smith was on vacation in the Washington, D.C. area with his wife.
Do you know when they left or how long they were there?
I do not.
Okay. Do you know when he was scheduled to return?
He was scheduled to return, I believe it was the 8th.
Okay. And so what do you and Detective Cordy do?
So Detective Cordy and I fly down. We meet with some FBI agents and some local police detectives and just kind of come up with a plan. The idea was to have, we had learned that Mr. Smith had planned on flying back to Alaska. We felt like that was the best for detectives so they could corroborate anything that he said and have access to all our computer systems here. And it was also relayed to us that Mrs. Smith was going to stay, Mrs. Bisland was going to stay in the Washington, D.C. area. So we were down there just in case, a couple of reasons, in case he didn't get on the plane, so that we would end up interviewing Mr. Smith there. And then the plan was also for me to interview his wife, or for Detective Cordy and I to interview his wife.
And you said you met with some FBI agents. Had they been surveilling Mr. Smith prior to your arrival and after your arrival?
Yes.
Okay. And so the police were generally aware of where he was moving in and about the DC area?
Yes.
Okay. And did you, once he got on the plane, did you have occasion to have an interview with Miss Bisland?
Yes.
Okay. Was that coordinated so that interview would happen while he was on the plane? Or something else?
It was so that once Mr. Smith left, that we would interview her.
Okay. Those things separate.
Correct.
Okay. And when you interviewed Miss Bisland, where did y'all contact her?
She was eating dinner at a restaurant. We allowed her to finish her meal, and then we waited till she came outside of the restaurant.
Okay, so you contact her basically in a parking lot outside of a restaurant?
Correct.
Where did you go to have your conversation with her?
The police, I think Fairfax County police in the Washington, D.C. area had a substation across the street from where this restaurant was. It was super close and convenient.
And how would you describe, well, first of all, how old is Miss Bisland?
I don't know how old she is now.
Okay, would it refresh your recollection to look at your report?
Yes.
Is somebody's biographical information something you would put on a report?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to refer you to supplement 69. If you don't have a copy of it, I can bring it up. 69.
I do have that.
Do you have that?
I do.
Okay.
Thank you.
What's her date of birth?
7/9/50.
Okay, so at the time you were interviewing her, she was 69 years old?
Correct.
Okay. And how would you describe her physically?
Physically, I think she's in great shape for 69.
All right, looks like Donnie has stolen Karen's credit card again. He says, Jay, the DNC has one opening for you. Bing bong. Donnie, what is the DNC? I'll bite. Tell me what the DNC is. Also, thank you. Also, Karen, I'm sorry, Donnie stole your credit card again.
Her speech, she had told me she'd had some difficulty with her speech, and she believed she'd had a stroke. She was easily distracted, I guess, when you spoke to her. It was difficult to kind of stay on task.
Did she seem at first concerned to be talking to you all?
No.
Okay. Did she seem to understand why you were there?
No.
When you told her why you were there, what was her, without telling the jury what she said, what was her general reaction?
Not shocked. She had some concerns about what was going on back here.
Was she worried about her house in Anchorage?
Yes.
Okay.
She was worried about her cats.
Did you promise her?
I mean, that's pretty interesting. The FBI or this detective tells his wife that he might be a serial killer or that he might have murdered someone, and she wasn't surprised. She was just worried about her house. That seems a little sus, no?
You would make arrangements for the cats?
Yes.
Okay. And, or single cat, right?
I don't recall if it was a cat or cats, but yeah, I get that, like being concerned about your pets.
Did she at that point have any information that was particularly helpful about the case, did you have any idea what Mr. Smith was being accused of?
Initially, she did not. At one point, we told her, like, it was about a homicide.
Was her general reaction disbelief?
No, I don't know that it actually sank in. She was not shocked or surprised. I was kind of surprised that she wasn't surprised that 2 detectives from Anchorage were in Washington, D.C. speaking with her.
Was she cooperative with you all?
Yes.
Did she allow you to download her phone?
Yes.
Okay. And even after you returned to Anchorage, did you have continued contact with Miss Bisland?
Yes.
At one point, did you go to her house to collect some electronic devices?
Yes.
Tell the jury about that.
So apparently she had done it, I didn't see it, but she'd done an interview with one of the local TV stations and had said something to the effect of, the police came and searched my house, and but they didn't take these, and held up, like I said, I didn't see the video or the interview.
Oh my Lanta, are you guys hearing this? This is the interview we watched to prepare for this. When she showed all the cards, that's how the detectives knew to go back to her house to get those cards. I told you that was wild that she did that interview. Oh my Lanta.
And so there was some concern that did crime scene team miss something, or were there other videos that they weren't able to be, that weren't found. So we went over there and she provided those, which turned out not to be USB drives. I gave those over to her.
Okay. She provided you some things that looked electronic in nature, but weren't actually storage devices?
Correct.
Okay. And had the APD's team already reviewed those things?
Yes.
Okay. But she was cooperative in that regard?
Absolutely.
Okay. Did you seek her permission to search some property outside of Anchorage?
Yes.
Okay. Was that property owned by Miss Bisland?
Yes.
Where was it at?
Talkeetna, Alaska.
And did she give consent for a search of that property?
She did.
Okay. And at some point, did you go and ask her for a blanket?
Yes.
Okay. What prompted that?
I believe that was the information that Detective Lee had gotten somehow.
Okay. Did you ever view a video where that blanket was present?
I don't think so.
Okay. You were asked by Detective Lee to go find it?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to show you what's been marked for identification as State's Exhibit 45. What is State's Exhibit 45?
It is a blanket.
And is that blanket is this one?
Sorry.
How do you?
It is difficult to tell.
Well, you can open that all the way up. Need to. The sticker's on the brown paper, right?
Yes.
And you put that there?
Yes.
Okay. Why do you normally package things in brown paper?
If there's any kind of liquid, you don't want to put it in plastic because it can mold and cause all sorts of problems.
Okay, so it's standard protocol to package it in paper.
Correct.
Could the jury see it if it was in paper?
No.
So do detectives often repackage things for trial?
Yes.
Can you tell that that was repackaged by Detective Paternos for this trial?
It was repackaged. I don't know her DSN, her number. That's what it appears to.
Does she have a signature on?
Yeah, her initials are on here, MP.
Okay. So it's been repackaged by somebody currently in the homicide unit so that the jury
can see it.
Got it. But other than that, are you confident that that's the blanket that you took from Miss Bisland?
Other than that, yes.
Okay. I'd move at this point for the admission of State's Exhibit 45.
No objection. It's admitted.
I think that's all I have for you, Detective. I just want to double check.
Man, they are flying through these witnesses. I'm surprised they think this is going to be a 3-week trial. That seems like...
I want to be clear. You weren't part of the search team out at Talkeetna, is that right?
Correct.
Okay.
I was not.
Did you kind of become the liaison between the Anchorage Police Department and Miss Bisland?
Yes.
Did you develop a rapport with her while you were in DC?
Yes.
Okay.
I thought so.
Okay. That's all the questions I have for you.
No questions.
Said no cross?
No cross.
Okay, you're done. Thank you.
Thank you.
I gotta love a defense counsel that doesn't cross every witness just to hear themselves talk. Kudos for that. Oh, Deanna is in the courtroom, boots on the ground.
Okay, so we need to set some things up in the courtroom for that?
Yes.
How long do you think it'll take?
That's up to Master Clerk. How long will he'll be on the stand the rest of the day? I don't know.
No, I meant how long a break should we take? Well, let's take 20.
Oh, is this guy? Are they going to show the videos with this detective? Is that what they're saying? Did I miss that? Oh man, Deanna, if they're going to be showing videos, be careful. Take care of yourself if that's what you're there for. I wish I could look for her, but the screen is so small I can barely see. Unless you want to like pull. I wouldn't even be able to tell if you pulled your earlobe, Deanna. Maybe if you. Where are you in there? Can you tell us?
Are there matters to take up before this witness?
I just wanted to let the court know that it's the state's intent to call Detective Lee today, but we also intend to recall him at the end of the case. The calling him today is for the purpose of describing the investigation, up to and including the seizing of the videos and playing of the videos. That obviously spurned a whole lot more investigation that foundation has to be laid for. So it was our best idea to call him now and then call him again at the end. So it'll be a limited.
Objection to that process?
Is the intent to play the videos that were seized from the SD card today?
Yes.
Because I don't think that there's been a sufficient foundation laid for those yet, Judge.
Be seated then.
So Detective Hunter is out of state. He will be testifying on Monday. I think you can admit them conditioned to his conditional relevance upon his testimony later. He'll be testifying that he took the SD card and copied it and yeah, I'm sorry, APD Tech Hunter, that he's the one that copied the card and gave it to Detective Lee. And that testimony will come on Monday.
Well, Judge, I think the issues are greater than that. We had testimony, again, and I'll let Your Honor weigh it, from Ms. Kassler this morning and yesterday as to how she came into possession of the SD card. What she said is she had a phone, she looked at it, there were 46 pictures and one video on it, which is not what the SD card showed when the police took possession of it. I think her credibility is basically nil at this point. Her story changed frequently even while she was on the stand today, so her credibility as a witness is very questionable. What we know now is that we don't have access to the originals of the videos that she stole because she somehow got rid of the phone, and I understand she said that she was walking through the woods and tripped and lost it. That's clearly not what happened, because her testimony was that happened after she talked to Dr. Thornquist. When the officers got to Dr. Thornquist's, she already had the SD card for them. So her timeline isn't the same. She also said she lost both of her phones when she tripped and fell. When the detectives got to Dr. Thornquist, she clearly still had her own phone, and she'd only lost the one. So her story as to how she lost the originals doesn't hold up to scrutiny and doesn't have any credibility. Similarly, nobody's yet testified that is in fact Kathleen Henry on the videos. And nobody's provided that evidence. And even Ms. Kassler, as hard as she tried to give evidence in this case that she thought might be helpful to the state, even she said she couldn't recognize Kathleen Henry on the video. So I don't know how the state can argue or show that the videos are relevant yet when there is literally no foundation laid yet. We don't have originals. We don't know how these copies compare to the originals. We can't even really say that they're duplicates. Seems to be in a different format than what she says she copied. And we don't even have a basic relevance as to Mr. Smith is charged with the murder of Kathleen Henry. Supposedly the state wants the jury to think that's Kathleen Henry on the video. Nobody's yet provided that testimony.
The testimony regarding Kathleen Henry is going to come in part through the video where and in part through the defendant's interrogation where he admits to finding that body in his truck and dumping it on the Seward Highway where Miss Henry was found. We'll have the medical examiner.
All right. I'm on the Alaska news feed. I'm going to go to the court TV feed, see if it's any better, but.
Go ahead.
The testimony regarding Kathleen Henry is going to come in part through the video where and in part through the defendant's interrogation where he admits to finding that body in his truck and dumping it on the Seward Highway where Miss Henry was found. We'll have the medical examiner and all of that. So we're just not there yet, but that doesn't mean that the video doesn't get played. Any credibility issues regarding Ms. Kasler go to weight, not admissibility. She testified inconsistent about some timelines for sure, but she's absolutely consistent that she got those images from the defendant, whether they were on SD card or on a phone, and she copied them from the phone onto the SD card. She believed she copied them all and gave them to the police. She was absolutely consistent about that. How many they are, I mean, it depends on how you want to look at it, and whether she's credible about numbers. It really doesn't matter. I think that goes to weight, not admissibility.
Do you have a reply?
Briefly, Judge, which is I would ask the court to be very cautious in how it applies the doctrine of conditional relevance or conditional admissibility, especially with regard to this evidence. Even the state during its voir dire said, these images are so graphic you can't unsee them. The state's questionably admissible theory theme during opening of the burden of knowing, all agrees that once you see these videos, you can't unsee them. So the idea that we would conditionally admit evidence that is this questionable, I think would violate, at least evidence rule 403. It is not a bell that can be unrung. It's not something the jury can hear and then be told to ignore if they actually don't prove up the foundation. And I'll add, and again, we haven't gotten there to this point in the testimony yet. There's no proof that Kathleen Henry was ever in that room either. There's no DNA to back it up. We heard the testimony already today that they seized carpet. Her DNA wasn't found on it. So the purpose of this trial is not to admit any evidence that they might have that they want to show that Mr. Smith committed a crime. It is to show that the state's burden, that the purpose here is the state has the burden beyond a reasonable doubt to show that he killed specific people. And there's been nothing yet to show that that is Kathleen Henry on the video. And I'll add, there's other circumstantial evidence to show that it may not be, but including there's a bone that you would expect to be broken in somebody who was strangled. They're claiming, violent strangulation. That bone was not broken here. I just don't think those videos can be admitted yet without all of the evidence bearing on their admissibility to be presented in court before the jury.
Okay. I tend to agree. I think that I think that using conditional relevance or conditional admission in this situation would be ill-advised. I'm going to allow the state to lay the foundation they need to lay before, or I'm going to require them to lay the foundation they need to lay before the videos are played.
Your Honor, the only foundation that the state was going to lay was to call Tech Hunter and say, I took that.
That's what I'm referring to.
Okay, we don't have to put on the autopsy, the medical examiner, Kathleen Henry's body.
I think that people could view the videos and make identifications based on the videos.
I think they can as well, which makes them self-authenticating to some degree.
And I think that information, I viewed the videos for the record. I think that information on the videos, including information provided by Mr. Smith, can be used to aid in identification. That isn't the reason I'm making the ruling I am. The reason I'm making the ruling I am is that there needs to be, I think it needs the chain of custody and the way the videos appear now, the information about whether for the jury to conclude about whether there's been any additions, subtractions, alterations, etc., should be part of the foundation that's laid here.
Can I make an offer of proof?
I would be very glad to hear an offer of proof, yes.
Okay, so Detective Hunter or Tech Hunter, I expect to testify on Monday. He will testify that the SD card that's been admitted, State's Exhibit 26, is what he copied and gave to Detective Lee, and that's what's going to be on State's exhibits that we were going to play here today. And that he will say that no alterations have been made from him or from anybody at APD from the time it got from Valerie Kassler to Detective Lee. The other thing that he will say is that he can tell that the SD card, that the images were put onto the SD card or appear to be put onto the SD card on September 24th, 2019. Which is consistent with Ms. Kassler's statement to the police that she told them early on and admitted today, was that she had the card about a week before she gave it to, before she went to her doctor. She's at the doctor on the 29th, gives it over on the 29th. So about 5 days between the time those videos are copied onto that card and the time that the police get them. So I expect that Tech Hunter is going to corroborate that timeline and say that the videos hadn't been altered at all from the time that he received them from Ms. Kassler until they went to Detective Lee.
Okay.
Sit down.
That's
I have no reason to think you won't testify.
Assuming that information comes in, I would, and no contrary evidence is presented, or nothing is, well, assuming it comes in the way you've described, I think I would be inclined to admit the videos.
Right, and I'm reading.
But we're in an area of the law that is new. And the court's been looking for case law from other jurisdictions because there isn't any in Alaska on point. And I think it is important in this case to get all the ducks lined up before the video is played. So if the testimony comes in as you just described it, I think it would be admissible, but it's not in yet.
I'm also looking at the court's ruling on the motion in limine, and that
I'm prepared to go through that. Some of the underlying basis on which I ruled has now been called into question.
Sure.
And it is, the defense is renewing their objection with slightly different arguments at this point that I will need to address. And it would be a better course to address those arguments once all the foundational evidence is in the record.
Okay. I want to be clear that the state believes much of the foundational evidence comes from the video itself and Mr. Smith's admissions that it's him.
I think that that's legitimate, a legitimate argument to make, but it isn't the only applicable rationale. I've addressed some other rationales in the order that you're referring to.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now. I just, I don't want to continue to argue with the court. I do think that even if Detective Hunter didn't testify, and he will testify, that link in the chain isn't absolutely necessary when you have a witness that says, I copied those things and gave them to the police, and the police saying, and then you have the defendant saying, that's me on the video. But
Well, I think those things are all important, but I think that in this case, given some of the other things that have been said, it's important to have all the foundational evidence in before I make a final ruling.
if you're fine with I just hate to waste the time. We have witnesses that have to testify next week. But I understand the court's ruling.
Okay, so can we take it that Detective Hunter is going to be the first witness on Monday? Or Technician Hunter?
He'll be back. Yeah, he's back. Yes.
Then we'll have the courtroom set up appropriately by Monday morning.
Thank you.
Just in case. Okay. That means if there's nothing else to present today, I'll call the jury in and tell them they're done for the week.
What?
Come back at 8:30 a.m. Monday morning.
Done for the week?
Let's bring the jury in.
How did that happen? We went to having a witness that was going to testify the rest of the day, and now they're done for the week. He needs a 3-day nap. Maybe they could fix the audio. But oh, poor Deanna. No, Deanna's in the courtroom. No, Deanna, I'm so sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry, Deanna. Drove all the way there.
Gary.
Oh, what a bummer, Deanna. If you're listening, I'm so sorry.
Please be seated, everyone. We've got our jury back with us. Folks, some issues have come up that we're going to need to deal with before we hear from the next witness. And so I'm going to let you go for the day and for the week. We'll take care of those things and be ready to go again Monday morning at 8:30. We'll see you then. Thank you.
I will say this, folks. Do you know what that means for tomorrow? I was worried I was going to have to rush with Katie, but well, I'll keep her on as long as she wants to stay on. We could talk about the Adelsons for a while, get all of her insight, because I was worried I had her on at 12. We'd have to be done, by 1-ish and go back to the trial. But as long as she'll stay and she has stuff to talk about
before Monday, counsel.
Just to clarify, and I think we're going to have to talk about this at our table as well, but in the event that the videos are played to the jury, I think Your Honor said the TV is going to be set up back here.
Yes.
And then would it be Your Honor's, or do we have all, both attorneys and Mr. Smith on the other side of the table?
Yes.
Okay. All right. We'll talk about that. Decide if Mr. Smith is comfortable with that, and then let the court know on Monday.
All right.
Thank you.
I'm not sure what I anticipate from the state is the podium being in the well. Detective Lee will obviously be on the witness stand, and then so Ms. Nauberger would be questioning from the well at the podium.
so that the videos. TV is going to be here. We'll need to move the podium anyway so they can see, so.
Part of the goal in moving the council around the tables was so that work product and your own screens would
Right.
not be visible
We'll make sure.
behind you. Okay. Anything else?
No, Judge, thank you.
Okay, we'll go off record. See you Monday morning.
Will they really be off record, or will they not realize it's a hot mic like last time? Let's see. Oh, the judge is going back in his closet. I guess they really are off record. All right, guys, I gotta just thank you all very much. I know this has been a tough trial to watch, not only the content of the trial, but just the feed itself. So I really appreciate everyone who has been sticking it out and watching it with us. Thank you, mods, as always, for doing a great job, like you always do. And yeah, so tonight at 7, Creators Who Crush interview, Tim and Lance. Then at 9, Publicly Buzzed, who's going to go over the testimony from Valerie, which I think is going to be great because it was hard to keep up with. So I that's going to be really good to watch Publicly Buzzed at 9. Then tomorrow, folks, 12 o'clock. I'm so excited for this interview with a prosecutor who worked with Georgia Kappelman for 3 years. Katie, I'm going to end this stream. It's going to portal you to that stream. If you could like it and we can get that thing in the algorithm, I really hope that's like a good one. I'm so excited for it. And then tonight, again, 7, Creators Who Crush. Creators Who Crunch. Creators Who Crush with Lance and Tim. We hope you guys can join us at 7 Eastern. Thank you all so much for your support. Thank you for being here, and I'll catch you at 7, which is in about 3.5 hours. Thank you so much, everybody. Appreciate you.